January. Be careful at the beginning of the month not to increase tensions too much on the family front, if you don't want to have to live with the consequences. On 3rd and 4th January. Old conflicts and recurrent tensions will call you to order. Maybe now will be the time to tackle what is annoying you in a clear way and speak your mind, though you can't be sure that this won't involve a loss of some kind or storms. Be equally careful around the 15th, when communication will be poor between you and your loved one or your children. One of them could rebel against you and be more than usually inclined to back you into a corner. The end of the month doesn't look any easier, as it will bring some underlying frustrations to the surface, ones which have been somewhat poisoning your love life and leaving you constantly feeling that something is missing. Advice for this month. A month when your family will cause you problems and your love life won't exactly be gratifying. A start to the year to be forgotten very quickly, even though the questions it throws up will need answers sooner or later. February. Until 18th February, the Sun is going to highlight your love life and your creative flair. You will have your work cut out to bring your numerous plans successfully to fruition and will seem be wonderfully inspired, on the 1st, in developing your talents and getting your message across. This will particularly apply to your partner, on the 2nd, with whom you will succeed in developing a closer relationship, but without sacrificing your independence or giving up on expressing your different personalities. You will also make good use of your amazing powers of attraction to rally support from your colleagues, and why not awaken the ardor of your loved one too. However, you should avoid over-fantasizing, on the 23rd, if you don't want your exchanges with others to come to a standstill and to be forced to revise your dreams downwards. Advice for this month. Opportunities for giving full rein to your dreams and laying down solid foundations for beginning to realize them, as long as you manage to marry your overwhelming inspiration and enthusiastic ideas with a less intoxicating reality. March. An explosive month, especially for those born in the second decan, when the best and the worst will be lying in wait for you. The month will get off to a flying start, opening up new avenues, on the 3rd, giving your plans a boost and granting you support from your friends and relations, as well as clients and people in general. However, the middle of the month could be much more difficult to handle. In fact, between the 11th and 17th, you could be up against some real glitches, especially on the family front, having to face bereavement or a breakup, real or symbolic. This will leave its traces, but also have the value of clearing up a situation that has been doubtful for a long time, as well as some stormy and painful exchanges with others. From the 18th, tensions will calm down and you will regain your relative serenity. Advice for this month. A month which promises some sparks and won't make things easy for you. It will be up to you to make the most of the turmoil to sort out what needs to be sorted, without adding fuel to the fire or putting yourself at risk. April. Don't hesitate to open up dialogue and keep it open, especially with your partner, who won't necessarily understand the current stance you are adopting. It will be time to make an effort to communicate without necessarily being confrontational. Difficult, but not impossible in April, when you will also have to fight to obtain the funds you need to put your plans into action, on the 18th. Don't try to force things through with your bank manager, potential sponsors or creditors, if you want to continue to count them among your allies. Fortunately, the end of the month looks set to bring about an improvement and the possibility of heading your life in the right direction, one that will be right for you. Advice for this month. A month when you will need to be patient, tolerant and tactful, if you don't want to get the backs up of the entire planet. Wait until the end of the month to draw attention to your talents, desires and entitlements, because from the 21st, you will be in a position to push back the boundaries as far as possible without causing offense. May. You will basically lack the resources for realizing your phenomenal ambitions, and May won't be the month when you will manage to do just whatever you want. Instead, You are going to have to deal with people in authority, and they won't be very inclined to listen to you, and still less to hear what you have to say. On the 15th, the second half of the month doesn't look any more enjoyable either, and your exchanges with others could come to a complete standstill. You will have a tendency to assert your will without taking reality into account, and those who could make your task easier will be in danger of withdrawing from your affairs if you don't come back down to earth. Advice for this month. May a nice month this year? Not really. You will find yourself at loggerheads with those whom you need in order to move forward, but they won't seem very convinced by your arguments. Please resist the temptation to force the issue, or you could soon find yourself in an awkward position. June. At last, a month that will enable you to take off and open up the future in line with your own ideas. Especially around the 22nd, when your friends, relations and allies will get moving to give you a helping hand or plead your case. Some promising partnerships, to boot. New avenues will enable you to glimpse the future with help and enthusiasm. Throughout this month, which will be very favorable in all aspects of life in your opinion, whether relating to work, your love life, friendships or social life, you will enjoy amazing charm, increasing popularity and absolute effectiveness. Advice for this month. A golden month to make the most of by playing all your assets, charm, supreme creative flair, and faithful and productive friendships. July. A flying start to the month, when you will make an effort to take the center stage, and basically with success. You will be popular and receive adulation, on the 1st, for your inspiration and fluent communication skills, especially on the 4th and 5th, when exchanges between you and those you deal with will be excellent and you will get what you want. From the 6th, try not to overdo things, or you could risk provoking the anger of your partner and compromise the atmosphere at home. You will appear willful and even authoritarian. It's not certain those close to you will appreciate your declarations of intent, which will sound very like declarations of war. Try to tone things down, if you don't want to clash with your loved one, or partners, who won't really be prepared to put up with your other offensive, not to say aggressive, mood. Advice for this month. To make the most of the good influences at the beginning of the month and progress at a lively pace, you would do well to tone things down in July, despite your furious desire to stand out from the rest and give the orders. If you persist in wanting to impose your will tooth and nail, you should be prepared to suffer some setbacks, on the 14th, 19th and 25th, when you could lose the battle and something of your reputation. August. Your eyes will be turned towards the future, but you may have to accept that you will need patience to finalize what is dear to your heart and will probably need fine-tuning and improving, if you are to last the course in the long term or even find a new lease of life. Jupiter has been giving your plans a boost since summer 2014 and will invite you from 11th August to take a step back in order to evaluate your progress, as well as learn the lessons of the past, so you can prepare for your return to the scene as planned in 2016. It will be a rather difficult start to the month with disappointments to boot, for those born in the 3rd decan, between the 3rd and 5th and on the 21st. When a few illusions will go up in smoke. Other Librans will enjoy a more pleasant atmosphere and enjoy themselves in the good company of their friends and relations, who will offer their support for opening up a future in line with their desires. Advice for this month. A rather grey summer month and frankly, not much fun for those born in the 3rd decan, who will still be caught up in money problems needing to be resolved. To sort out your accounts for once and all and without losing your morale, you will need to accept the need to face reality without delay. September. Take a step back in September, when the sun will be lurking in the shadow of your sign until the 23rd, recommending you temporarily bring things to a halt, in order to fine-tune your strategies and avoid potential errors of judgment around the 17th. beware in particular of a hidden adversary, who will be deliberately lying in wait and could try to harm or disparage you, especially at the end of the month, on the 26th, when you would do well to keep your distance and stay on your guard in particular. This will give those who don't have your interests at heart something to think about. Advice for this month. A month for caution and reflection, without provoking others in any way. A month for thinking hard, but without chewing things over, and maybe for taking a rest without feelings of guilt. October. Until the 23rd, the sun will illuminate your sign and put you back in control. This will be the moment to take your destiny in hand, gently, and start to lay down foundations for the future. Some will want to build a house, others to add structure to their life, at work or socially, and this will serve as a base for realizing their plans which have been at the development stage for a long time. All of you will benefit from the positive energy and unfailing dynamics to make an impression and score points slowly but surely. Watch out around the 11th for what is playing out on the family front, but also with your supporters behind the scenes, who will be working away in the shadows, but no less effectively for your glorious benefit. Advice for this month. A month that will open up prospects, which you will certainly have to work upon to appreciate their scope, but they will reconcile you with life and reconnect you with your lucky star. November. Those born in the first decan will receive some rather encouraging signs on the finance front around the 11th, but will find it quite hard to communicate clearly and effectively. For this, they will have to pay the consequences at the end of the month, when they won't be immune from disappointment, which will get them down and give them a desire to throw in the towel. Definitely not the thing to do. As for other Librans, they will feel neglected, not to say relegated to oblivion by those close to them and not really in tune with their partner. Advice for this month. A month when reflection rather than action will be essential, otherwise it will be at your own risk or peril. December. Avoid being too decisive and don't be aggressive with those close to you. On the 6th, if you want to spend Christmas in harmony rather than at loggerheads. Tensions could mount on the 19th and 21st, if you take it upon yourself to teach people a lesson. You could expect the tables to be turned on you straight away. The atmosphere will be calmer from the 24th, when good news of a financial nature will fill your heart with festive joy and reconcile you with the entire planet. This will be about time, although you won't be immune, on the 29th, from altercations, if you think you are right about everything and try to impose your ideas on others, without listening to what they have to say. Advice for this month. A month when you will really need treating with kid gloves, but it would be in your interests to calm down, if you don't want to end the year at odds with everyone and not really smelling of roses.